Some have altered it for the better and some have altered it for the worse. But what P.T. Selbit did was saw through a woman. Now, we've gone right back to the beginning of time for this trick anyway, and of course the first essential, you need a woman and a box to put her in. But this version, well, it was different to all those that came after that. Look at this down here. You see, this is a rope that's knotted round the ankle. It's sash cord, rough stuff. There's another one there. This one is tied to the wrist, you can see that. And this one is also tied to a wrist, so there's 4. And the 5th one here is tied round the neck. And at this stage, I must warn people at home who are viewing, especially the young ones, never tie anything round your neck. It's very, very dangerous. Never, all right? Now, we think we know what we're doing here, but even we can make mistakes. Gentleman that did all this time wasn't a member of the BBC staff, wasn't me. It was John, gentleman from our jury. Nice to meet you again, John. And what I want you to do is come a bit nearer, John. We gave you a marking pen. You tied Debbie up.
Correct.
Okay? And in the tying up of Debbie, we've sealed them all off with sellotape. I want you to just sign or initial or put a mark on there. And the moment the trick is over, I want you to make sure that that is still on there. In other words, that nothing's been tampered with or messed around with, okay?
Right.
And, because I'm generous, you can keep the pen. Right. So, if you just step to one side, we open up the box, and when we open up the box, thank you very much, you can see inside. It's just a wooden box, plain planks. The reason it was made like this was so that Selbit could have a new box every night, all right? If it goes wrong, he needed a new girl every night. Would you just step inside the box, walk this way? Right, now as you can see, she fills the box, and they would take the ropes and pass them out through little holes in the side. Once it was passed out like that, when you watch this very closely, John, if we pull this like this, her wrist is pulled to the inside. Do have a quick look, you're all right. And it's pulled up. There's no way she can pull in like that, especially if I do a dirty deed and on the outside put a knot. Now, if I put a knot on there like that and then pull it, you can see that that tightens onto the side and she's got no spare rope inside. Okay? We're going to do exactly the same thing now, with this through that side, which will be tied off on the other side. This one, which will go right through the top. And we have a knot here so that Debbie won't get hung when it's pulled very tight. Okay? Yes, thank you. Right. Now, this one we're going to put out through the bottom hole there, and this one out through the bottom hole. Just lift your foot out through there. Now, when those get pulled tight like that, you can see that Debbie has absolutely no slack rope at all in there. Okay? And if you'd like to check the knots on the outside, would you like to do that? You tied the ones on the inside, you might as well have a look around the outside. And whilst you're doing that, okay, happy with that? Yeah? No spare space at all. We're going to shut the box and we're going to close the doors like that, and we're going to turn the box round. Now, when we turn it round, you can see here, John, there are hasps on the side. Through the hasps go little pegs, all right? The pegs just keep the box shut, all right? Now, stand over there, John, because the boys are going to tip this box up. Now, when they tip the box up, what Selbit used to do, first of all, before he ever did the sawing through, you see, was he would take sheets of glass. We have got sheets of glass, and they're over here. Now, with the sheets of glass, which you can see here, like this, okay, there, I mean, it can't bend, it's quite solid stuff, all right? And it's marked fragile, more for the benefit of us than anything else. But you should be able to see this going through. The ropes, of course, pulled very tight so that Debbie can't move around at all, and we just pull this through there and cut her head off. Now, once we've got the head bit off, of course, it's a bit difficult. There it is. You can see that going through there. You happy with that? Because you're the independent witness for this one. We can take this, and it's another piece of glass, and we just go like this, and we cut off the legs. Right? Now, once we've done that, you can see now she's more or less in 3 pieces. Then, you take this, and you split the torso, like so. Okay? And the strange thing about magicians who do this, they smile when they're doing it. It's one of the weird things. And you just take this, and you split the other end, even more so than the torso. Right? Put that through. More or less cut up. There's one piece of glass left. We'll just put that in. And this was where Selbit hit a snag. You see? Just sort of, the hip bone was a nuisance. So, he would take the saw, all right? And so began one of the most famous tricks in the history of show business, sawing through a woman. Right through the woman. And that, of course, made a nice, neat slot for this to go all the way through. And he would take a box and prove the lady was now split up into lots of tiny little pieces. Of course, it became necessary by law to put her back together again. So what he would do then is just, first of all, put back on the legs, and then, of course, working in reverse, more or less, he would put back on the head, and then he would possibly restore the torso, right? And then he would restore the legs, like so, like that, leaving only the middle part, all right, to put back together. He would take that out, like so. Now, a lot of people used to think the girl had disappeared from the box. This was not true, and the way he proved it was simple. He pulled it apart and showed that the girl was still in there. All right? You got that? Right. Taking a knife, we cut off the ropes all the way around. Another one on the front there. And once the ropes are cut off, what he did was he took out the little wedges, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you found inside one restored lady. Okay? Thank you very much. That was good. Well, I hope you enjoyed.